Welcome back everyone. Your class 12 begins and here I begin the coverage of the entire ISC 2025 literature in English new syllabus. In today's session, I'm going to give you the line-by-line explanation of Macbeth Act 3 Scene 1. What is the setting of this scene? Forest, the palace, and who is the character present? It's Banquo, and we will begin with Banquo's soliloquy. But before that, I have a request for you. Do subscribe to our channel and also like, share and comment to support us. Coming back to this scene, to today's point of discussion, try to jot down some notes. I'm going to discuss the dramatic significance of Macbeth Act 3 Scene 1. This is important for your long answer questions as well as your short answer questions. Critical comments, introduction, everything is going to be sorted. What is the dramatic significance? Now, this scene is significant in more than one respect. Point number 1, from the point of view of action, this scene shows further progress in Macbeth's criminality. Very, very important. He has already mastered the art of dissimulation. This word, dissimulation, is a new term. What is the meaning of dissimulation? Dissimulation means concealment, hiding of one's character, thoughts or feelings. In simple words, dissimulation means pretense. Macbeth's pretense, Macbeth's hypocrisy is revealed in this scene, and he has also strangled his conscience altogether. Point number 2, the gradual fading away of Lady Macbeth from his life is foreshadowed in this scene. We find Macbeth planning the murder of Banquo all by himself. There is no Lady Macbeth involved in this plan against Banquo. And point number 3, the reason why Macbeth is plotting against Banquo, the reason is he cannot forget the witch's prophecy about the succession of Banquo's descendants to the throne. Now, the witches had predicted that Macbeth will be the new king of Scotland, but Banquo will be the root and father of many kings, and this has made Macbeth suspicious of Banquo's motives. And it is particularly this thought, together with his feeling that his genius is rebuked under Banquo, that goads him into this dark deed of plotting against Banquo's assassination. So this is basically the dramatic significance of Macbeth Act 3 Scene 1. Banquo's soliloquy. Thou hast it now. Meaning of thou? Banquo is talking about Macbeth. He is addressing his words to him as if he were present there. Thou hast it now. All your ambitions have now been fulfilled. You are the new king of Scotland. You are the Thane of Cawdor. You are the Thane of Glamis. All, you have everything. As the weird sisters promised, predicted, and I fear, I suspect, thou playest most foully for it. Yet it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity. Learn this for your quotation. Thou playest most foully for it. You acted most wickedly for the crown which you have secured. But yet it was said, it was predicted, that it should not stand in thy posterity. The crown would not pass on to your children. Here, Banquo is speaking to himself. He suspects that Macbeth has gained kingship by playing the dirtiest trick. However, it was prophesied that the crown would pass out of Macbeth's descendants and that Banquo himself would be the father of a line of kings. What was the prediction about Banquo? But that myself should be the root and father of many kings. An important quotation, root and father of many kings. Use such quotations in your answers. If there's come truth from them as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Their speeches shine, their words show favor on you. So, if the weird sisters are capable of making true predictions, in your case Macbeth, their predictions have already proved to be true. May I hope that their prophecies will come true in my case also? Why by the verities on thee made good fulfillment of the prophecies in your case, may they not be my oracles as well? What is the meaning of this? Why by the verities on thee made good till oracles? On the basis of the truths which have been proved in your case, can't it be said that they will directly tell me also what will happen in the future and give me hope? Verities, truths. The meaning of verities, truths. And oracles. What is the meaning of oracles? Oracles were seats of worship of special divinities where prophecies were uttered by divine sanction. Now, oracles also refers to the answer given to a question about what will happen in the future or the person who answers such a question. And set me up in hope, set me up, encourage me. But hush, no more. How can we critically analyze Banquo's soliloquy? Banquo has become an accessory to the murder because out of ambition he has kept silent about the witches and thus refrained from exposing Macbeth. We can assume that he is undoubtedly Macbeth's accomplice in the murder of Duncan in this respect. But hush, no more. Banquo cuts short his soliloquy as Macbeth enters. Senet sounded. What is senet? A set of notes on a trumpet sounded as a signal for the approach and departure of processions. And Macbeth enters as king, as a new king of Scotland. Lady Macbeth as queen, Lennox, Ross, lords, ladies and attendants. Macbeth, here's our chief guest as nearest to the royal line and as at present a person of special importance to Macbeth. Banquo is the chief guest. Lady Macbeth, if he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in a great feast, the banquet, and all thing unbecoming, all thing holy, and unbecoming means unseemingly. If we had forgotten to include Banquo in our great feast, then it would have been a very serious omission and everything would have looked improper. So, Macbeth's hypocrisy, Lady Macbeth's hypocrisy as well. Macbeth, tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir. What is the meaning of solemn? Formal or ceremonious. And I will request your presence. Here, Macbeth invites Banquo. Let your highness command upon me to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit bound. And what is the meaning of indissoluble? That which cannot be loosened. Your highness can command me and my duties are tied to that command with a band that can never be broken. Here, Banquo's reply is as formal as was Macbeth's request. Macbeth's hypocrisy is being served with hypocrisy on Banquo's part over here. Ride you this afternoon? My good lord, we should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous. Grave means serious and prosperous means profitable. In this day's council, but we will take tomorrow. Is it far you ride? These questions are important. Ride you this afternoon? Is it far you ride? What is the significance of this? This is a very significant question, right, you this afternoon. Macbeth wants to know if Banquo will be out that afternoon. Now, if Banquo does not go out, the murderers will not have the necessary opportunity of murdering him. Observe how naturally Macbeth drops these murderous questions. These are simple questions. He appears to ask these questions offhand, but the implication of these questions, the meaning is serious. He has progressed far in dissimulation since the last scene. And also observe how deftly, how efficiently he handles both Banquo and the murderers. He is very skillful. We should have else desired your good advice. If you were not to go riding, we would have sought your advice, which has always been both responsible and prosperous, profitable. In this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. We'll discuss the important matters the next day. Is it far you ride? Banquo, as far, my lord, as will fill up the time, betwixt this and supper, go not my horse the better. I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain. If my horse does not go faster than I expect, I shall be riding an hour or two even after darkness falls. A dark hour or twain, an hour or two after darkness. I shall ride only as far as will fill up the interval between now and the time of banquet. But if my horse is slow, I will be a little bit late. Macbeth, fail not our feast. Very, very important. My lord, I will not. Perhaps the most striking instance of irony in the play. My lord, I will not. Macbeth, we here our bloody cousins are bestowed, have taken refuge in England and in Ireland. Bloody cousins, Malcolm and Donalbain. Why are they bloody? They are guilty of committing regicide. They are guilty of committing parricide, of killing their father, King Duncan, not confessing their cruel parricide. We know by now what is regicide and what is parricide. Parricide is murder of their father. Filling their hearers with strange invention, poisoning the ears of those that listen to them with strange concocted stories. Macbeth suspects that Malcolm and Donalbain have obviously been talking about their suspicions of Macbeth, the role played by Macbeth in the regicide of King Duncan. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal, in addition to that, we shall have cause of state. We will discuss about Malcolm and Donalbain, and in addition to that, we will also discuss state affairs craving us jointly. Craving us jointly, needing the attention of both of us together. Hi, you two, horse, adieu, goodbye. Till you return at night, goes Fleance with you? Another very important question. The implication is sinister. He wants to find out the information about Fleance. And who is Fleance? Fleance is Banquo's son. He wants to know if Fleance is going to accompany Banquo. My good lord, our time does call upon us. So here it's time we started our journey. I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Just observe Macbeth's hypocrisy. He is so humble, he is so polite, but inwardly he is plotting against Banquo as well as Fleance. May your horses be swift and sure-footed. Sure-foot, firm in their movement on the ground. He wishes them a safe journey. But will they be safe? Ironically, they are not going to be safe, and Macbeth is making all the arrangements to make their journey unsafe. Exit Banquo, let every man be master of his time. So, Banquo leaves the stage, and here Macbeth says that let every man be master of his time. He addresses other lords. You may also leave and spend your time from now until 7 at night as you like, to make society the sweeter welcome. What is the meaning of this? I would also like to be left alone till then, till 7 o'clock, so that your company at the supper time is all the more sweet to me. We will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you, exeunt all but Macbeth and an attendant, Sirrah. A word with you, attend those men our pleasure. Very, very important. Fellow, let me have a word with you. Have those men come? Who are these men? Are they waiting to see me? They are, my lord, without the palace gate, outside the palace gate. Macbeth, bring them before us. Exit attendant. To be thus is nothing. Again, Macbeth's soliloquy over here. Very, very important. So, there are important textual quotations over here also. To be thus is nothing. It is no use being a king unless I can be a king in safety. But to be safely thus, our fears in Banquo stick deep are deep rooted. It is no use being the king if I cannot be safe as a king. My fears of Banquo are so deep rooted that I just can never give up my fears. And in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. This section is very, very important. Try to understand each and every line. Banquo, according to Macbeth, possesses such royal dignity as would inspire awe in anyone. Remember the dramatic significance I just gave you a little while ago? There, I had discussed the reason behind Macbeth's suspicions about Banquo. So these are the reasons. Multiple choice questions give reasons. Questions and answers. Prepare this section really well. Point number 1. Banquo possesses such royal dignity as would inspire awe in anyone. Royalty of nature. It is much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. Very, very important, this entire section. Point number 1. Royalty of nature. He is a man of great daring. This is point number 2. In addition to which he has a wisdom. This is point number 3, which guides him safely in all that he undertakes to do. And he also, point number 4, has a dauntless temper of his mind. The kingly nobleness of Banquo has a prevailing quality which would naturally be feared. It is much he dares. He dares to do a great deal. Banquo is not only good but also brave. And to that, plus, in addition to that, dauntless temper of his mind, brave disposition of his character. And he hath a wisdom. He has wisdom that directs his bravery to act safely and cautiously. So these are the reasons why Macbeth fears that his awe, his grandeur is perhaps undermined by Banquo. There is none but he whose being I do fear. Give reason. Macbeth fears Banquo because anyone reason. There is none but he whose being, whose existence I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. Important quotations. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. My guardian spirit is overcome by him. Genius. Shakespeare almost always uses this word in allusion to the classical belief that every man is watched over by a guardian spirit who directs his actions. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. Now, as it is said that Mark Antony's genius was overcome by that of Octavius Caesar, my genius is overcome by Banquo. After the assassination of Julius Caesar, Mark Antony became the most powerful man in Rome, but he could not get on very well with Octavius Caesar, another member of the triumvirate. He was defeated by Octavius Caesar at the naval battle of Actium. So if you have read Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare, you will know this reference. Otherwise, I have just mentioned the reference. Go through it. He chid the sisters. Here Banquo rebuked the weird sisters when first they put the name of king upon me. He rebuked the three sisters. It is incorrect to say, however, that Banquo chid them, but Macbeth would like to think that he rebuked the three sisters and begged them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Very, very important quotation. Fear of Macbeth. So this is point number 5. Banquo was hailed by the weird sisters as the father to a line of kings. What is the meaning of prophet-like? With the gift of prophecy, they told him that he would be the father of a generation of kings. Upon my head, they placed a fruitless crown. Everything is important over here. Upon my head, they placed a fruitless crown. Again, give reason. Macbeth describes his crown as fruitless because the crown of a king whose children would not be kings after him, because of his fears that his sons will not be the kings of Scotland. And put a barren scepter in my gripe. Why is the scepter barren? What is the scepter? Scepter is a golden rod of authority that would not be handed over to Macbeth's children, and gripe, grasp. These possibilities are making Macbeth suspicious of Banquo, jealous of Banquo. Thence, to be wrenched with an unlikely hand, wrenched, forcibly taken away. My kingship will be forcibly taken away. Unlikely hand, what is the meaning of this? The hand of one who is not descendant of mine. My sons will not succeed me. No son of mine succeeding. The crown will not be descending to my son. If it be so, for Banquo's issues have I filed my mind. Very important. For them, the gracious Duncan, gracious Duncan, guilty conscience. He has already strangled his conscience, but somewhere inwardly he knows that Duncan was a fair king, a gracious king, and by committing regicide he has filed his mind. He has disturbed his mental peace, and he has also corrupted his soul. For them, the gracious Duncan have I murdered. Very important. I have defiled my mind for the sake of Banquo's children. And this is not at all acceptable. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace. It is for Banquo's children that I have poisoned, put rancors. I have poisoned my peace of mind. What is rancors? It is malignant hate. Macbeth's peace of mind is thought to be a vessel, and rancors refers to some food or drink which has been put in that vessel but which is bitter because it is not fresh. Only for them, only for Banquo's children, and mine eternal jewel, my immortal soul, given to the common enemy of man. Who is the common enemy of man? Satan. To make them kings, the seed of Banquo's kings. Very, very important. I have done all these things for Banquo's sons. Rather than so, come fate into the list and champion me to the utterance who's there. Rather than let the children of Banquo become king, let fate come into the battlefield. Let me challenge even my fate. The role of fate in Macbeth is a very important concept. Re-enter attendant with 2 murderers. Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Exit attendant. Was it not yesterday we spoke together? This is the second meeting. The previous day they had their first meeting. It was, so please your highness. First murderer. Now Macbeth. Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Have you thought about what I spoke to you the other day? Have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune. Here Macbeth speaks to the 2 murderers and he refers to Banquo. Banquo was responsible of holding the murderers in such a miserable state. Here Macbeth is manipulating the situation. He is manipulating the 2 murderers by accusing Banquo of being responsible of holding the 2 murderers in a miserable condition, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good. This I explained to you in our last conference during the first meeting. And didn't you think that this person who kept you in this miserable state was I? You held me responsible for your misfortunes, but I am utterly innocent, and I have proved to you my innocence. In our last conference, passed in probation with you, went over the proof with you, convinced you by proof, how you were born in hand, deceived, how crossed the instruments who wrought with them. So whatever you wanted to do was frustrated. And what is the meaning of the instruments? The plans by which your hopes were frustrated, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a nation craze say, thus did Banquo. And I told you everything else that would prove to even the most dull-spirited or half-witted person that it was Banquo who did this. Notion crazed, a half-spirited person. Half a soul is who it was who worked by those means. The meaning of half a soul. I pointed out to you how you were kept in false hopes which never bore fruit. What were the means adopted to frustrate your hopes, and who it was who worked by these means? I explained all these things to you, which would have convinced even a half-witted man and a crazy fellow that it was none but Banquo who did all this. Notice how Macbeth is already a hard-hearted criminal. He is poisoning the murderers against Banquo. You made it known to us. You have told us everything. I did so and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. So this is the second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go. And after listening to all this, what do you think? Do you think that you have the patience, the ability to suffer evil? Predominant, powerful, prevailing. Are you filled with the teachings of the Gospels to such an extent that you are prepared to pray for this man, pray for Banco and his children whose evil plans have brought you closer to death and reduced your children to poverty? That you can let this go? Are you so gospeled, filled with the Christian teachings of Gospels which require a man to pray even for his enemies? To pray for this good man. Who is this good man? Banco. And for his issue, for his children, whose heavy hand, whose cruelty bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever. Beggared, reduced to poverty, and yours, your children or your people forever. We are men, my liege. So, my lord, we are human beings after all, and can bear ill will only to a limited extent. Macbeth. A. In the catalogue, ye go for men. Yes, in the list of things that exist in nature, you are certainly included under the general term men. As hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, chows, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clept by all by the names of dogs. Yes, in the list of things that exist in nature, you are certainly included under the general term men, but just as there can be various kinds of dogs, there can be various kinds of men also. And what is the meaning of go for? Go for means pass as. Hounds. What is the meaning of hounds? Hunting dogs. Greyhounds. Greyhounds are swift, slender, and graceful species of hunting dogs. Mongrels. Dogs of mixed breeds. Spaniels. A breed of dogs usually with long pendant ears. Sloughs. Rough-haired dogs. Water rugs. Long-haired dogs living by the water. And demi-wolves. Dogs bred from wolves and dogs. Are all called. All by the name of dogs. The valued file, the list which gives the comparative value of dogs, distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, everyone according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed. What is the meaning of subtle? Subtle means cunning. Housekeeper is the watch dog. According to the gift, according to the qualities, according to the special qualities which bounteous, generous nature hath in him closed. What is the meaning of this? But there does exist another catalogue that makes a subtle distinction amongst dogs and distinguishes them as swift, slow, clever, or as a good housekeeper or a good hunter, according to the quality which bountiful nature has given him, and by which he receives a particular title, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Here he is comparing the condition of dogs to that of men. Such a catalogue is different from the one that describes all of them as dogs. So there is a general category of dogs and there is a category of dogs with special qualities. The lists are different and what is true of dogs is equally true of men. Why is Macbeth saying all these things? Now, if you have a station in the file, if you have a distinctive place, a station in the discriminating catalogue, and do not just belong to the ordinary grade of human being, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms. The purpose of this second meeting. I will entrust you with that business which, if carried out, will not only remove your enemy but also will bind you to me, the king, in great love and affection. And I will put that business, what is the business? Assassination of Banquo and fleance, in your bosom, whose execution takes your enemy off. If you murder Banquo, what will happen? You will take your enemy off. You will take revenge on your enemy. Grapples you to the heart and love of us, and you will also prove to be my loyal subjects, who were our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect. Here, Macbeth tells, as long as your enemy lives, the life we lead is but poor and sickly. His death would make us perfectly happy and healthy. Very, very important. This is the business. This is the plan. I am one, my liege, whom the while blows and buffets of the world. The first murderer, before this I'll just explain. The first murderer had said that they are men, to which Macbeth sarcastically says that they can no doubt be called men, just as all dogs can be called dogs. But just as all dogs cannot be great as dogs, similarly, all men cannot be great as men. He would like to know what kind of men they are. If they are great men, they will successfully murder, they will successfully execute his plan. Second murderer, I am one, my liege, my lord, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless. What I do to spite the world. I am one, my lord, whom the sufferings and sorrows, blows and buffets of the world have so deeply embittered that I do not at all care what I may do to have my revenge upon the world. And I another, so weary, so tired with disasters, tugged with fortune. This is a metaphor taken from wrestling, suggested by grapple, to mend it or be rid on it. I also do not know how to mend it or to get rid of it. I am so fed up with disasters and so roughly handled by misfortune that I am prepared to take any risk, either to improve my chances in life or to put an end to it. Both of you know Banquo was your enemy. Very, very important. Both of you know that Banquo was your enemy. True, my lord. So is he mine, a confession. Very important. So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. For your quotations, learn these words, learn these expressions. Macbeth says that Banquo is your enemy, Banquo is my enemy, and in such bloody distance, enmity that will end only with his death. Therefore, this is bloody, that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life, my vital parts, my heart. He is as much my enemy as yours, and he stands so close to me and bears me such bitter hatred that every moment of his life is like a dagger thrust into the most essential parts of my body. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight, barefaced power by an open exercise of my kingly authority, from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not. I would have killed him openly and said it was my sovereign will, but I cannot do so, for we have some common friends whose goodwill and friendship I value. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down, and thence it is that I to your assistance do make love. I would have to mourn the death with those common friends. It is because of these considerations that I seek your help in this matter. You should also keep it a secret from the people for some important reasons, masking this business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons. You must keep this a secret. You must not divulge this secret. We shall, my lord, perform what you command us. First murderer, though our lives. Both of them agree to assassinate Banquo. Your spirits shine through you. Macbeth is pleased because he has successfully manipulated the murderers. I can clearly see your fiery spirits manifest in your faces. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. He has strangled his conscience, and there is no Lady Macbeth over here. He is planning and plotting and chalking down all the necessary details. I will advise you where to plant yourselves. I will tell you where you should hide yourselves while waiting for Banquo. Acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time while waiting for Banquo, and I'll also tell you the exact time when you should strike. The moment on it, for it must be done tonight. Sense of urgency. He does not want to delay things. This deed must be done tonight at some distance from the palace. So, in order to avoid any kind of suspicion, Macbeth must be assassinated tonight itself, and something from the palace, away from the palace, always thought that I require a clearness. You should also bear in mind that no suspicion falls on me, and with him to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. In order that this deed is accomplished without any faults or omissions, rubs nor botches in the work, Fleance, his son, again important, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Fleance also must be murdered. His son, Fleance, whose death is as important to me as his father's, he must also be killed in the darkness of night. And what is the reason for this? Why does Macbeth want to kill Fleance? Remember, Fleance is Banquo's son, and if he remains alive, then there is a possibility that he will be the next king. He will succeed Banquo according to the prophecy of the witches. Resolve yourselves apart. I will come to you anon. I'll see you soon. We are resolved. Yes, we will commit the murder. My lord, I will call upon you straight. Abide within. So we will soon send for you. Stay within till we call you. It is exhumed murderers. It is concluded. What is the meaning of this? It is settled. I have made all the preparations. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it tonight. The cruelty in Macbeth's words. The cruelty is so important over here. If your soul is to go to heaven, a cold-blooded murderer, it must go there tonight. No delay. There must not be any kind of delay. Macbeth is anxious to do away with Banquo as he knows that Banquo suspects him. But he is more anxious to murder Fleance because he is out to defy fate and will not allow the issues of Banquo, the sons of Banquo, to be kings after him.